Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I'm Liliana. I'm the creator and founder of Sugarella Sweets. My channel is all about the cake decorating world and I share all my tips and tricks. So today it's a beautiful two-tier buttercream cake, perfect for a princess. If you guys want to see how I made this, well, keep on watching. So this cake is a buttercream cake with 2 tiers, and each tier has 3 cakes stacked together with buttercream filling in between each other. What I did for both cakes, I did the crumb coat. Basically, a crumb coat is you're sealing the crumbs to your cake. And once I did that, I pop it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I did my final coat of buttercream. You can use any color that you want. In my case, I used pink. So to stack both cakes together, I use bubble straws, which is plastic straws, but if you're not comfortable with that, you can also use wooden dowels, and that works perfect also. So when you stack your cake together, you will see there's like a little gap in between, and that's normal. Many bakers, what they do so that it's like easier, they just put a ribbon, but my personal thing is that I find that it doesn't look as neat. I like when it looks like it's one piece. So what I do is I just put a little bit of buttercream all the way around, and then I scrape it off, and then it just looks like it's one piece. And then for the decorations, what I did was very simple. I use this kind of mold for the bottom and the top. And by the way, for the bottom, I cut the bottoms out so that it looks like it's one piece. And then for the second cake or the second tier, I basically just use the whole entire thing as it is. And then I hand painted it in gold. A lot of people are gonna ask me and are gonna come for me, why didn't you paint it before? The reason why I didn't paint it before, it's because you will also paint these right here, and I didn't want that. I wanted the piece to look like a 3D look, so this is why I only painted what's sticking out. That's the reason why. But yes, you can go ahead and paint all your pieces, wait until it dries, and then stick it to your cake, but that wasn't the look that I was going for. For the where I wrote the name, basically I used this kind of cookie cutter right here, and then I covered the outline or the borders with this kind of like mold. It has cornstarch, sorry about that. So I use this one right here, but you can also use this one, or even this one, it's nice. And then basically that, you need 2 pieces, one for the top, one for the bottom. And then for the sides, I use, again, sorry, it's not dirty, it's just cornstarch. So you can use this one right here for the side, and then you can stick these little pieces to the piece that you cut with a little bit of water. And fondant will create glue, so that's how you stick your fondant pieces, and then you can go ahead and then paint it. So for the name, I use these kinds right here of letter cutters. I love these. At first, it's a little bit difficult to use, I'll be very honest with you, but the trick to use these, very simple. You have to roll out your fondant extremely thin, and then you roll it on top of your letter, and then leave it there on your counter for about 5 minutes so the fondant will harden a little bit. And then with a toothpick, simply poke it just a little bit, not all the way through, just a little bit, and then you're gonna see it's gonna remove itself, and you'll have that perfect letter. And then once again, glue it with a little bit of water. You can use your toothpick. You just dip your toothpick in water, and then you take your letter and then you place it on to your fondant piece. And that was for that. And then for the crown, I use this kind of, I don't think I showed how to do it, but basically it's just you fill up your mold with fondant, and then you unmold it, and then you can take anything that is basically round shape, and then you place your fondant on top so that it keeps its shape, and you let it dry for a good at least 2 to 3 days. What I do is I always mix my fondant with Tylose. It speeds up the process of drying, and it actually makes it like sturdier, harder, and then you can go ahead and paint it. I don't like painting my pieces when they're not hard. It makes it difficult, and a lot of times when you're trying to paint on them, unless you're airbrushing, it actually doesn't keep its shape. So it's better to let it completely dry. It will harden, it will stay the shape that it's supposed to be stayed, and then you can go ahead and paint it with a brush. So basically, a lot of times we think like, you know, we're gonna over decorate the cake so that the cake is like, we think that it's gonna be more pretty, but in this case, less is more. It literally has like 5 decorations, and it's just a border, the name, and a crown, and the cake just looks magnificent. It's perfect for a baby shower, even for a first birthday, and it's like a wow factor. Also, I forgot to mention, if you guys want that crisp little edge on top, you can use acrylic discs. That's what I did for this cake. So if you do that, make sure to do your crumb coat first, and then you put a layer of buttercream at the top. You place a parchment around paper the same size as your cake on top. Just place a little bit of buttercream on top of that, and then your disc. And then you can go ahead and then cover your cake with buttercream. You're just gonna fill all the edges. I like to use a disc that is a little bit bigger than your actual cake. So like that, you know that it's gonna be like perfect, like literally perfect. The sides are gonna be perfect. Like I like to work with that, especially if you're new with buttercream and you're not too comfortable. So it's just a great trick. If you do not have acrylic discs, because they are quite expensive, and let's say you want to try it out first, you can actually use a cake, one moment. You can actually use the cardboards of the cake. Just make sure that you're placing the white part or the glossy part onto the parchment paper. So again, it would be covered with buttercream, and then parchment paper, and then a little bit of buttercream on top of the parchment paper, and then this. Then you're going to cover your cake, and then with your scraper, you're just gonna scrape off everything using the sides of the acrylic or your cake board as a guide, and then you just smooth it out. Once everything is smoothed out, do not remove the top, or else you're gonna ruin your entire cake. Just place it back in the freezer for about 5-10 minutes until the sides has hardened, or in the fridge for 20-30 minutes. Okay, once the buttercream has set, then you can run a knife at the bottom, just like that, all the way around, and then pop the top off, acrylic or this. And then don't forget the parchment paper. And then you're gonna see it's gonna have like a little crease. So then you fill it up with buttercream, clean out the edges, and you have the perfect smooth out cake with the perfect edge. Trust me on this one. Oh, also another thing, when you're combining or putting your cake together, make sure that the top part, the cake, because as you can see in the video, I literally took it with my hands. You can't just take a cake like that with fresh buttercream on it, like you're gonna see the hands. So make sure that that tier is really like the buttercream has set. So I would highly suggest in the freezer that one for 10 to 15 minutes, so like that you have time to remove it and it's not gonna damage the buttercream at all. And then you can go ahead and then just do your bead and then decorate, and then that's it. So, and that was it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell button so you get notified of all the videos that I put up. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.